Starbucks versus Dunkin'. Which is better? Hey guys! If you're looking for a place to have a warm cup of coffee, it can be confusing choosing between Starbucks and Dunkin'. Both companies serve different clientele, and we're going to check out what differentiates the two. Starbucks and Dunkin' are eateries that specialize in coffee, mainly in the US. The companies offer almost similar coffee options, but their business models are very much different. To get a grasp on how these brands operate, it is wise to take a walk back into time when they were founded. Dunkin' Donut was founded by William Rosenberg back in the World War II. While working for Quincy shipyards, William realized that workers had very little options when it comes to lunch. Hence, he borrowed $1,000 in bonds to launch his company, Industrial Luncheon Services. This helped him supply sandwiches, snacks, donuts, and coffee to the workers. He did this via an old telephone truck, which he converted into a food truck. Sales soon started to trickle in for Rosenberg, that he opened another restaurant in Quincy, Massachusetts. This was called the Open Kettle and sold coffee for 10 cents and a nickel for donuts. He was soon making more than $5,000 a week, and in 1950 changed the name to Dunkin' Donuts. Rosenberg soon learned the power of franchising and soon had over 100 restaurants by 1963. Locations peaked to over 1,000 by 1979. Today, the company has over 3,200 eateries in over 46 countries. In 2018, a rebranding strategy shortened the name to just Dunkin'. In the US, the company was the top seller for donuts, retailing more than $2.9 billion in sales. Starbucks is not as old as Dunkin'. The company traces its roots back to their first store in Pike Place Market in 1971. The founders were Gordon Bowker, Jerry Baldwin, and Zev Siegel. The trio found their inspiration back in the University of San Francisco, where they tried their hand at selling high-quality coffee. They were mainly influenced by Peet's Coffee and Tea that was opened in 1966 by Alfred Peet. The trio started selling coffee beans roasted by Peet's. They later started doing their own. At this point, they were more known for selling beans than actually brewing coffee. The first Starbucks brewed coffee was sold in 1982. Howard Schultz, who was well known with the brand, was hired in 1984, and in that year, Starbucks opened its first espresso bar. By 1987, both Bowker and Baldwin sold their shares in Starbucks to investors led by Schultz. The company later bought out Peet's for $3.8 million. By 1990, the company had opened 30 stores, and in 1992, the company went public at $32 per share. By 2016, the company had 25,000 stores in over 75 countries with more than 300,000 employees. Schultz later stepped down as CEO to focus on the company's high-end roaster business. Let's look at the numbers that differentiate these two. For one, Dunkin' Donuts is older than Starbucks, but Starbucks generates more revenue at $26 billion a year, compared to Dunkin' $1.5 billion. This can be attributed to Starbucks having a larger footprint. It has 30,000 locations compared to Dunkin's 11,300 locations. Most of these are in the US, where Starbucks has 15,000 locations versus Dunkin's 8,500 locations. The other factor for Starbucks' success is that it is very aggressive in overseas expansions. This means it has a wider international presence than Dunkin'. As a total of sales, Dunkin' makes just 26% of their total sales from overseas sales. Starbucks continues to make more revenue than Dunkin' largely due to its numerous stores, especially overseas. The company also charges a premium for its coffee, unlike Dunkin', that focuses on competitive pricing to target the middle class. How the two brands operate. Starbucks has taken to build stores that have a more premium feel than Dunkin'. The coffee eateries are more comfortable, have greater customer customization options, and have a more extensive menu than Dunkin'. However, Dunkin' resembles more of a fast food restaurant with competitive pricing. One of the things that stands out for any Starbucks store is the decor and ambiance. You will find an inviting decor with free internet access, which works well for the young people always busy. This also offers friends a more relaxed setting, where they can chat or read a book while enjoying their favorite glass of coffee. This means their target market are people with more disposable income, hence the premium offers. The downside is that Starbucks is more affected by economic cycles than Dunkin', as people have less disposable income to spend on premium coffee. The shift for Starbucks has been to introduce, like Dunkin', more small plates, wines, beers, and sandwiches to cater for afternoon and evening customers. Restructuring in 2018 meant that Howard Schultz departed from the company, with Myron E. Ullman being appointed chair of board and Melody Hobson as vice chair. Starbucks continues having a competitive edge over Dunkin'. Lately, they rolled out their food delivery services, which have been on an upward trend largely due to the COVID pandemic and partnerships with third-party food delivery companies. Dunkin' has continued with its policy of offering coffee with some donuts or food. This means it markets itself as a beverage company. The company expanded its menu to now include steaks and various sandwiches. This helped it capture the market beyond breakfast. The Dunkin' stores resemble fast food restaurants, unlike Starbucks, that are more cozy. David Hoffman became CEO of Dunkin' in 2018. How the stores are owned. Dunkin' has retained a largely franchise-based ownership for their stores, while Starbucks has a corporate-owned structure. This means Starbucks is mainly owner-operator model, and this has implications on revenue, capital expenditure, and cost structures. In accounting, company-operated stores tend to have different capital and operational structures that franchise stores. The cost of goods sold, COGS, is larger than that of a franchise. This translates to the expense structure being severely affected by any changes in the price of coffee beans. When it comes to capital expenses, the burden is more on Starbucks to purchase things like kitchen equipment for their stores. Dunkin' does not incur this burden for the franchises. When it comes to brand development, Starbucks offers customers more customization options, as they can even write the customer's name on each coffee cup. Their store offers better ambiance, hence attract a different clientele than Dunkin'. Dunkin' Donuts offers competitive pricing, hence is more attractive to the middle class than Starbucks. This is reflected in their margins, with Starbucks running a very tight one due to their larger capital expense burden. Starbucks has been scoring high on customer satisfaction, and their popularity abroad means you can always enjoy your favorite cup of coffee when traveling. Their policy on innovation means they are always on the lookout to give their customers more menu options. Starbucks keeps scoring higher points than Dunkin' on various metrics like reputation, value, quality, and customer satisfaction. While most Dunkin' stores look like fast food restaurants, Starbucks is more customer-centric with cozy eateries. Which do you prefer, Starbucks or Dunkin'? Which eatery do you find the best for meeting a friend? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching the video.